Just a little bit ago, one of my viewers asked me a question about the Harbor Freight motorcycle lift. He wanted to know the height and the length of the pivot arms. Now, I imagine he means these arms here would be the pivot arms. Well, maybe he's going to build his own lift. And some will have everything you need, you know, and they can see it. But I thought, why don't I just go over it and make a video and show all the measurements, and if somebody wanted to build their own lift, they could, because you could buy these hydraulic rams. You could even buy them at Harbor Freight. And so what I'll do is I'll start at the bottom and I'll tell all the sizes. Got the thing here, and the square tubing that it's made out of, I could start with that. That's 2-inch square for this top lift and the bottom, and this big one here is piece out front is 2-inch. That's 2-inch. The base part is 3-inch by 2-inch, this piece, and that piece there from the bottom right up here to the top, and then they have a plate on it, that is 35 3/4 inches. Now, I think he said the pivot arms was these. So let me give a measurement on those two first. This bottom one on this ram, it's the length of it is 20 inches, the overall length. The thickness of that stuff is, let's see, half inch. This one up here is 16 inches, and it's ½ inch, and it's let's see how wide this stuff is, 2-inch, and that's 2-inch. So it's 2 inches wide, ½ inch thick. And let's see what else we can give. Clear at the bottom, these legs that go out, they are about 36 inches. And let me see if the camera's where I want it. Okay, so these legs are 36 inches long, and they go back into here. They're bolted through here. So they're back in there 6 inches. This piece is bigger than this. It fits into it. So that is 6 inches. And the width clear across from one side to the other on these, the base is 24.5 inches wide. The top one is 17 inches wide, and it's it goes out where the bike sets on 20 inches. So this piece goes out 20 inches. The bike setting on it from the floor, it has a height of 28 inches once it's up and on a top pin hole. This what I say, this 3 by 2 inch pipe, the first hole is 11 inches and the next one's 14.5. That's the holes that the pin goes in, and that pin is ½ inch diameter. And I'll pick up the camera and take it over and show and maybe get a couple extra measurements. Okay, like this piece here that holds it, I don't know if I gave it, that's ½ inch by 1.5 inch strapping, heavy, and it's like 7 inches long. From the bottom of the ram to the top pin right now is about 17 inches. So you'd need a ram a little bit more, like about an 18-inch ram, because you got to bring it up, put the pin in, and set it back down. And you can see how the top's made. A big plate in here, right here, and here it's welded, and a plate on top. Of course, your handle going across. But the height of the pivot arms, I believe that's what he's asking. Is the top arm has a tube welded on, and it's pivoted right there, and from the floor, now that's down here on the floor up. Let me get a measurement of that. It's about 29 3/4 inches right there. This one down here is from the floor about 15 3/4 inches. And I said this rod here, this brace here, the pivot arm itself, is about 20 inches. 20 inches. And from this part of that arm to this one, these two, there's one welded there. Well, from the floor, I set a measurement up to this one, but these two are 4 inches, about 4 inches apart. 3 3/4. 3 3/4 from here to here. And I think I got about everything. And from the front of this post back, this pivot arm on the ram, that's a measurement you'd need, is about 7.5 inches. So from this front back here, 7.5 inches. I'm trying to see. And from this pivot arm up to this one, where it's on this post here, that post there, let me get a measurement of it, how long it is. I'm having a little trouble because I'm trying to use one arm and do this. Okay, that's 16.5 inches there. So from the bottom, this piece here is what they say it was. Already forgot. Okay, let me get a thing here. 16.5 inches. This piece here is 16.5 inches long. You can see this in here. These arms that go out are welded onto this piece here. So that piece there is 2 by 2, and it is about, the length of it is about 12.5 inches long. No, 13 inches long. This piece here goes from side to side. And then I had given a measurement on this. This is let me get in here and get this. That's about 20 inches long out. And I think that would be all the measurements you would need. You can go back and pause it and go over it again and get the measurements. If there's anything else you need to know on it, you could leave me a comment, but definitely I'd put the brace under there like I have. I showed on my other video, because it makes it, because this bike's been on here a couple days now. I'm in the process, I had a fire on it, and I'm in the process of putting a new wiring in. I'm following my wiring, and I'm getting up towards the headlight, and I can lay the rest of that in there and I'll be done with the wiring. A lot of plugs to put in, awful lot of plugs, but has to be done. So I hope it gives you an idea. This piece in here is 20 inches, the same as the top. Yeah, this piece here, and I believe it's 3 by 2. It even had a sticker on there. I didn't see this before. It says it minimum lift height 2.5 inches, maximum lift height 30 inches. Huh, I've never seen that before. But if there's any other thing that, you know, I haven't covered that you wanted to know, leave me a comment and kind of describe it better, and I'll measure it up for you. But that is a measurement about everything I can think of, that if you'd want to build one, you could do it. I like this ram here, because that hydraulic, because you could buy them, you know, and it just bolts on right down here. I could unbolt it, take the pin out. I could go get another one if this one ever goes bad. But that is a big warning I give on that, is that thing bleeds down if you didn't have that pin in there and I didn't have that jack under it. That thing will settle down, and it goes pretty quick. It seems like it goes quicker than when it was new. So I put it up on the pin, put that thing under it, I'm safe. So to my viewer, I hope that answers your question. Like I said, if it doesn't, tell me. I could even give you my email address, and you can email me, and maybe you can even make a drawing like of it and show exactly what you need to know, and I can tell you, you know, explain what it is. And one other thing is the bolts that hold that together. Those, I believe, let's see what size they are. I'm talking these bolts right here. They're pretty good sized. They look like they're 1/2 inch. 3/4. I think I believe these are all, these bolts are 3/4 inch. Yeah, they're 3/4. They're 3/4 hardened bolts. All these bolts in it. Down here too. So for these pipes that you'd be welding on here, you'd need a size that 3/4 goes through, and weld them. And that should be it.